Chapter 3. What you can expect when you use it. In any situation, when you are seeking to change your behavior, there is a high possibility that the 5-second rule, which is a way of counting backward from 5 seconds, will be more effective than other techniques for behavior modification. A large number of people have expressed gratitude for the process of writing down their blessings, stating that it has helped them to remove themselves from the reasons for their gratitude and to direct their thoughts in a more constructive direction. However, the rule may be seen as both a beginning point and a stopping point, depending on how you look at it. Because of the rule's use, higher activity in the prefrontal cortex is seen, which leads to enhanced performance as a consequence of the increased activity. The prefrontal cortex of your brain is stimulated when you are attempting to focus or make a conscious choice. The frontal lobe, as its name suggests, is a portion of the brain that is involved in decision-making. It is located in the frontal lobe of the brain. It is found in the frontal lobe, which is where the term frontal lobe comes from. When the nature of the issue became instantly obvious, the situation got more serious. As a consequence of the circumstances surrounding the event, it seems to me that I owe it to myself and my family to accept full and total responsibility for my decisions and actions during the event. It is required to take into consideration the following scenario. The fact that I was able to hold myself back from moving forward for 5 seconds at a time while still pushing myself to complete a task that would have a positive impact on my life as a result of my activities, which were in part a result of the rule's execution, was a source of personal pride for me. If you follow the 5-second rule, one benefit is that you may become a better mother or wife, among other things. Getting out of bed in the mornings and looking for work may also be made simpler as a result of this procedure. The benefits of doing so include avoiding problems associated with things you enjoy doing, such as sleeping in late and becoming irritated with your spouse because he or she yells at you for being late to work, or taking a nap when you don't feel like it, which may result in a disagreement with your spouse. A copy of the book may be purchased on Amazon.com for roughly $19.99, which includes free delivery as well as assistance from members of the publishing industry. Setting deadlines for important tasks will not only increase your overall productivity, but it will also result in a major increase in your self-esteem. If you want to make significant changes in your life, you must be able to get off your behind and kick yourself in the buttocks. According to psychoanalyst Julian Rotter, it was originally published in 1954 and has gained widespread attention since then. According to Rotter, the locus of control is a psychological notion that was originally started in 1954 and has gained widespread recognition over the course of more than 4 decades since it was first introduced into the mainstream. Due to the fact that you will be completely fatigued at both a physical and emotional level when the circumstance arises, you will discover that your ability to communicate properly will be significantly hampered when the time comes for you to say anything in response to the circumstance. Having confidence in your abilities to design your own destiny, regardless of your age, may lead to greater happiness and success in any endeavor you choose to pursue. As a result of this, you develop into the type of person who prefers to take action rather than sit around and worry about what to do next, rather than just sitting around and watching what happens to others in their immediate vicinity. Another factor that has contributed to the rule's effectiveness in the face of adversity in the past has been the clarity with which it has been put into effect. In the end, it doesn't really matter whether or not the following assumption is correct. What matters is that the following claim is incorrect. An often heard myth is that recognizing one's wrongdoings and accepting responsibility for them is the first step in changing one's behavior. Large numbers of people believe this erroneous notion, which is also incorrect in reality. Individuals who want to make a positive difference in their lives frequently use expressions such as "I feel very excited" or "I feel motivated to take action," among others, to express their excitement or inspiration. If you follow the rules exactly, you will notice a significant increase in your ability to exert control over your emotions in the vast majority of situations, regardless of the circumstances. These adjustments will also have the effect of decreasing your desire to make improvements in your personal and financial situations as a result of the changes. As a result, there is a significant increase in the amount of energy and confidence that can be channeled into action when the situation calls for it. As a result of developing self-discipline and self-mastery in this manner, in order to boost one's self-esteem, one must also have a strong desire to strive for continuous progress in one's overall performance as well as the improvement of one's overall performance in order to boost one's self-esteem. It is necessary to have a strong desire To strive for continual development in one's entire performance as well as the enhancement of one's general self-esteem in order to increase one's self-esteem. Increased self-esteem can only be achieved by having a strong desire to strive for continuous improvement in one's overall performance as well as the enhancement of one's overall self-esteem. When you practice self-discipline and self-mastery in this manner, you'll be well on your way to raising your self-esteem and self-confidence in no time. While traveling to a foreign country, it's easy to lose one's commitment to one's convictions, even if sticking to one's convictions is crucial. This is particularly true when traveling to a foreign country. To summarize, they make an effort to provide you with the ability to make choices on your own behalf, while also ensuring that you have the support of others in order to reach that goal. Having the freedom to select what you want to do with your time and energy, while you do have them, may serve as a source of inspiration for you to explore your interests in more detail at a later time, should you want to do so. A big part of their success may be attributed to their flexibility, which enables them to survive and flourish in a broad range of different settings and situations. You may opt to accept the option in order to show yourself that you are capable of making decisions affecting your own life. The line, "Only ourselves have the capacity to hold ourselves back," came to Donna's attention when she was searching the internet. She had been moved by something. In this particular instance, Donna felt this to be very touching. It seemed that something had gone a bit too close to her nerves. Donna felt this to be incredibly fulfilling, especially in light of the circumstances surrounding her current plight. Something had gotten a bit too close to her nerve endings, and she had experienced a tingling feeling as a result. The fact that Donna found this to be a very fulfilling experience, even in light of the circumstances surrounding her current predicament, speaks volumes. Donna had an extremely emotional experience as a result of this conversation, which she described as follows. "As a result of the trauma, I've made enormous strides forward, which serves as a sobering reminder of how badly I was holding myself captive because I was terrified when the incident occurred. As previously stated, none of these outcomes are a direct result of the rules formulation. Rather, they are a result of the rules execution, as was the case in the preceding section. This is also true in the reverse direction. Increasing the chance of these events happening by increasing the probability that they will occur raises the chance of these events happening. As a result, whenever I refer to it in this context, I refer to it as a tool rather than as a piece of software in order to prevent any misunderstanding. When dealing with creditors and receiving bankruptcy notifications, the digits 54321 were used in place of the letters 54321, as had been the case in previous instances. He was convinced that he was in possession of a previously discovered clandestine nuclear weapon of mass destruction, the same kind as the one that was discovered in his hands in the real world not long after. We were successful in persuading him of this. In this particular instance, it was as a consequence of his having been out of a long-term relationship for a lengthy length of time previous to his encounter with the woman in question. She showed an unbelievable amount of initiative in admitting that she had not been in a long-term relationship with him, as a consequence of her admission that she had not been in a long-term relationship with him. Even though he said in his statement that it was his attitude toward the rule rather than the rule itself that was the root of his desire to have the rule's implementation postponed, he maintained that this made no difference to his point of view. However, rather than being used as a kind of punishment, hypnosis is designed to assist those who are subjected to it to lead a more direct and fruitful existence. Truth be told, though it may not be advantageous for everyone, those who are willing to give it a go will discover that it is a very successful method. That it is not appropriate in all contexts or in all locations on a regular basis for everyone, regardless of their past, is true for everyone, regardless of their sexual orientation. Therefore, it is becoming more popular among individuals who want to have more control over their lives as well as a stronger feeling of their own identity. It is also becoming more popular as a result of the fact that it is quite inexpensive. More than 100,000 individuals from more than 80 countries have written to him to share their experiences with the rule and to tell him how they have put it into action. He has received more than 100,000 letters in response. More than 100,000 answers have been received by him. To be really honest, as the book's author points out, it's very normal to feel nervous when you first start reading anything. Everything, on the other hand, will be fine if you get into it. Regardless of whether or not you are confident in the answer, she hopes that you will feel free to ask any questions you may have without fear of being criticized for doing so. After some thought, he has concluded that even the smallest amount of difficulty has the ability to trigger a mental system that is intended to keep you from progressing in your life. As you may guess, the whole procedure may be completed in less than 5 seconds. According to the author, in order to support his thesis, he provides an example of his studies. He inquires as to how quickly fear and self-doubt may take over a person's mind and force them to begin thinking about the reasons why they should not speak or do anything, and the participants enthusiastically nod their heads in agreement with his point of view. It is common for us to take some time to consider and evaluate our options before beginning work on a project that appears difficult, daunting, or confusing. Of death has been referred to by several people during the course of their experiences due to the way it appears to them in various contexts while they are experiencing it. His experience with the woman was described as the oddest thing that has ever occurred to me in my whole life. As soon as he returned to his home, I'm receiving emails and phone calls from people all around the globe, and many of them, like Mark, are doing all they can to adhere as strictly as possible to the letter of the law. You would be unable to keep up with them all if you were alone with them, and even if you were, it would be almost impossible. Despite the fact that it may not seem to be the case at first look, the general public is constantly being inundated with information. The information included within this article was last updated on November 2, 2014, according to the most recent update to the content included inside this article. We fall more behind as a result of the small and inconsequential consequences of our daily activities, which have a cascading effect on the remainder of our days and weeks. It has been shown on several occasions that a simple and time-tested strategy may be utilized to break or change detrimental behaviors. Methods such as the 5-second rule, which is an example of one such technique, serve to demonstrate this kind of approach. In a number of settings and environments, it exhibits a high degree of adaptability in terms of both functionality and appearance. It exhibits a great degree of adaptability in terms of both utility and appearance when utilized in a number of scenarios and environments. Thus, it is the most efficient and simplest technique for reaching these goals that we now have at our disposal for the purpose of fulfilling our responsibilities. You will be amazed at how quickly and easily you will be able to reclaim control of your life and the situation in which you find yourself as a result of the rule of law being followed to the letter of the law. I was a totally different person 7 years ago, and I'm not the same person I was 7 years ago. Following the rules has provided me with the opportunity to experience the life-changing freedom that I previously had the privilege of experiencing. As a decision-making tool, it may assist you in putting a stop to the use of fear and uncertainty in your decision-making process, as well as regaining control over your decision-making processes. A tool for recognizing and savoring the little victories and triumphs that occur throughout one's life's journey through the world. An effective strategy for recognizing and appreciating the little victories that occur throughout one's life is gratitude journaling. When one adheres to the rule and puts it into action, it becomes feasible to achieve significant improvements in one's situation. It will be beneficial for those who are willing to set their uncertainty aside and begin taking little, insignificant, and unexpected steps toward their objectives. Participants in large-scale, unexpected, and unforeseen behaviors who then stop to think about them for hours at a time, rather than minutes or seconds, can benefit from this technique, as can individuals who begin to participate in large-scale, unexpected, and unforeseen behaviors, but then stop to think about them for minutes or seconds. In the long term, it has the potential to assist you in seeing the world through fresh eyes and to change your perspective on life in a variety of ways. To begin, let us begin at the very beginning and work our way through the fundamental concepts of the problem one concept at a time.